Welcome back to Studio 5. Most of us recognize and would agree that a manipulative relationship is unhealthy, but do you know how to actually recognize a manipulative relationship? It's not meant to be a trick question. The truth is, some seemingly solid couples struggle with a behind-the-scenes tug-of-war that results in unhappy conflict and also blame. Studio 5 contributor Dr. Julie Hanks is the owner of Wasatch Family Therapy, and when you label it up front like that, manipulative relationship, my first thought is someone who is a couple that's outwardly dysfunctional, but are these signs always obvious?
No, they're not. They can be very, very subtle. And we all use some manipulation.
To get what we want?
Yeah. But what I'm talking about here is more kind of chronic patterns. So, say you're feeling insecure, you may use some manipulative tactics, but we're talking about like these chronic patterns in relationships that can really lead to the demise of the relationship or of a person's sense of self.
So would you call this problem common then? Could a manipulative relationship or someone who is manipulative cause an otherwise, healthy, strong couple to just kind of unravel? It's that thread that keeps tugging.
Well, they're probably not that healthy to begin with if someone is using these kind of tactics. So they probably have got off to a bad start and it just gets worse.
Got it. At the root of this, you say, is this idea of happiness. And everybody wants to make their partner happy. So where does it go wrong?
So this is about feeling responsible for your partner's happiness. There's a difference between being aware and sensitive to their needs and their happiness.
Okay.
And it's another thing to be responsible for. Like, I am in charge of making you happy, so I have to do this perfectly and you look like this and not do this.
Like, you're having a bad day and I'm worried what I did wrong or why it's my fault.
Right, it's my fault, and the partner's like, yeah, it is your fault. Yeah.
So the partner's part of the problem.
If you would just do, if you would just clean the bathroom every day, I would be happier. Or if you would just stop spending money, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And in healthy relationships, the partners are sensitive to each other's needs, but they don't feel responsible for the other person's unhappiness or their happiness.
Even if the partner isn't expressing that, if you clean the bathroom, I'd be happier, and you're still feeling that guilt, could there still be some subtle underlying tones?
Yeah. And there may be patterns. I mean, we all bring patterns into relationship. So those may be way back when stuff that's coming up for you. Mm-hmm. But if that's a chronic feeling that, like, oh my gosh, I'm walking on eggshells, I can't say or do anything without upsetting my partner, having a big blow up, then that's a warning sign. Another
word that pops up under this umbrella of manipulative relationships is jealousy. So is jealousy a natural part of a good committed couple relationship?
It is to a degree. So we're talking about kind of a continuum, right?
Okay.
So we all want reassurance that we're important. But in emotionally manipulative relationships, it's on the extreme. It's like, well, who did you see? Well, who are you texting? Well, where are you going? So there's this kind of need to control the behavior of the other partner, right? Mm-hmm. So constantly checking in, being overly suspicious. So it's one thing to say, hey, where are you going? Or where'd you go for lunch today with your friend?
Who'd you talk to? Yeah.
But it's another to be like, well, who'd you see? Like grilling. You know what I mean?
Drilling down to those unnecessary details.
And trying to find something that it's probably not there, may or may not be there.
You say hiding feelings can be another warning sign of a manipulative relationship.
Yeah, so if you are feeling like you cannot be yourself, and again, this is on a continuum, because we all, like, if you said everything you think or feel, you'd probably have no relationship. So we all have a filter. But this is when it's like you feel like you really cannot be yourself. And if you express dissatisfaction, it ends up hurting your partner. Like, oh, the way you said that to me hurts. Like, whoa, what? You're so sensitive. So if you can't even say little comments or everything's taken as criticism, then that's a problem.
So along those lines, if the partner's reflecting what you're saying constantly back on themselves, that can kind of play into that?
Yes. Yeah.
All right. On the list also, you say you're micromanaged. Do you feel like you're controlled to every last detail?
Yes. A woman came in my clinic recently looking for a sliding fee scale, which we don't offer for what she needed, or free counseling, no, actually she wanted discounted counseling. And I said, how about a sliding fee scale? And she said, no, we don't qualify. My husband makes too much money. I was like, okay, but I need, why do you need free counseling? Well, because I don't have access to any of it. And he doesn't think counseling is important. So it's like, okay, wait a second, like controlling certain aspects of life where you feel like you're a child, you know, kind of telling you what to do, how to dress. That's a big one too. Like, well, you know, you need to look like this, or you need to lose weight.
Telling them how to dress?
Yeah, like, oh, that skirt's too short, or you look, you know, kind of that criticism. Yeah.
I imagine finances is a big one though, in terms of the control issue.
Yeah. But appearance, you know, all of the things we're talking about are themes in an emotionally manipulative relationship.
Let me ask you this. Is it hard to see a manipulative relationship when you're actually in a manipulative relationship?
Yes, and that is another sign. If people in your life, your best friend, your extended friend group, your parents, your extended family are like, you know, this doesn't feel right, or gosh, he seems really kind of controlling or wanting to tell you who to be and what. Listen to that. I mean, if it's just one person, you can kind of blow it off and be like, well, they, you know, whatever. But if there's a theme of people saying, I'm concerned about you, I can see some things here, even subtleties, oversensitivities, things like that, you want to listen, because when you're in it, it's hard to see.
Yeah, yeah.
That's why therapists need therapists, right? It's like, it's hard to see your own stuff no matter what it is. And so listen to the feedback of people that you trust and that you love, and that know you have your best, know that they have your best interest at heart.
What if you are, Julie, listening to this conversation and you're hearing things that sound familiar, right? And you're getting that feeling that this could be a mirror to my own relationship.
Yeah.
What's the starting point for couples? How do you address that with a spouse who you feel might be manipulating the situation to their advantage?
Well, I think you need to address it with yourself first, and start being aware and noticing. Sometimes in these relationships, if you just go and confront the manipulator, it'll escalate, right? So you may want to go seek individual counseling to get some tools for how to work with that
before you strike at couples counseling.
Yeah,
individual counseling.
It depends on how if your partner is open to counseling, then great. But a lot of times people who are manipulative don't want to go to counseling because they won't be in charge of the relationship. The therapist is in a position of kind of authority.
Yeah, yeah.
Does that make sense?
So it's maybe start with the individual counseling, see if you can gain some skills to shift the situation.
Yeah, or to end it. I mean, you know, there are a lot of relationships, especially, you know, dating or courtship, where it's like, that's the time to notice these patterns before you make a long-term commitment. And that's the time to listen to feedback from others.
And from a couple's perspective, if you are in a position where your partner, your spouse is willing to sit in the therapist chair with you,
go to couples. Oh yeah, definitely. And because underneath the manipulation is really some kind of pain, some kind of fear. It's, you know, most people are not out to control other people, but that's a strategy that we learn, you know, throughout our life to get what we want, because we don't know another better way. And there are lots of other ways.
Well said. And that's therapy you offer at Wasatch Family Therapy?
Yeah.
Great.
We do.
Julie, really helpful. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Brooke.
All right. They say it takes a village, and I believe that to be true. So up next, parenting pointers from some familiar faces here at KSL.